I look out across this the crowd, I thank everybody for being here. I mean, it's a little overwhelming, but it makes me say something that I'll share a couple stories with you that Jeff told me, and that, you know, I'm not alone and we're not alone. This is a family. We're a community, not only in Charlotte County, the way they come to support the project and the ideas that are behind it, which are much larger than Bill, and much larger than even the Marines in Beirut, but it's just to tell a story to remember those who serve. A lot of people ask why Port Charlotte. I think you've heard. We lived in the community. I went to elementary, middle school, and high school. And when it came to the idea to do something, and I told the commissioner when I made the phone call, and Joanne answered the phone and told him what I wanted to do, and we talked. I mean, I just was amazed how much they got behind it and supported it. But I think if you want to know why, where the seed came from this, you have to go back to the 30th anniversary of the Beirut bombing. Chip, who's sang today, I met him at the 10th anniversary, and the friendship that we have, and I appreciate him being here. And I mean, my soul was touched when he sang the national anthem a little while ago. I think what I want to share is on the 30th anniversary, sometimes we do feel alone as a family in our losses and what we have, and it doesn't matter whether you lost somebody in Beirut or a dear family member. You all experienced that loss at some point in your life, and you kind of wonder, you know, why. And I think for me, my brother was the example. I almost never wondered why. He was an inspiration to me, and I kind of felt like, hey, I had to go on and carry on, and you know, wanted to make him proud of me, not in a way that has been a negative, but a sincere positive. And so on the 30th anniversary of the Beirut bombing, they had a football field. They had all the veterans lined up. And as Jeff mentioned, there were vets that were there from 1982 all the way through 1984. There's a broad story of what happened in Beirut, and it was on October 23rd. And that's kind of what this park and the tower is meant to describe. But on that anniversary, they were all on the football field, and they had the families come up, and I said, William R. Gaines Jr. And Jay Whitten, who's in the back, raised his hand, and I remember going standing next to him. He lives in Immokalee, Florida, which is where my dad was a Baptist minister for about 10 years. And as I was standing next to Jay, a guy came over from 2-6 Battalion. And he stood next to me, tapped me on the shoulder, and said, "Are you Bill Gaines' brother?" And I said, "I am." And he proceeded to tell me a story about how Captain Went, the S2 of 1-8, had sent in an advance party. As Jeff mentioned, there were different advance parties that came in. And he sent an advance party of two guys, his chief scout, Bob Conley, Sergeant Bob Conley, and my brother to the university position, which is Spyglass, as Jeff mentioned. You'll hear more about that story. But they were out there for a week. And Andrew Mall was his name, and he told me about the time he spent showing Bill and Bob around Beirut, and it touched me. I'm like, you know, this is a guy who I've never met, and I never knew that story. I never knew that Bill had interacted with somebody in that way. And hearing those stories just kind of opened up to me the veteran relationship to the families. And I think it helped him, but it also helped me. And so today, Captain Went's brother, Ken Went, is here. I got to meet him and his family through the different anniversaries. Sergeant Conley's father, Jim, and his sister Sharon are here, and I've got to meet them. And I think we feel, you know, a familiar connection, right? Of we've been through something together, and we all feel that sense of loss and the desire to honor, you know, our family members. And so that's the seed that sort of spawned this. But at that same 30th anniversary, I ran into Jeff. As you mentioned, I hadn't seen him since I was 12, and I'm pretty sure I was about that tall. And I saw him, and my mom, you know, brought me over to him, and he was wearing a leather jacket, a hat. He looks like a Marine, right? And on that jacket, he had a American flag, and under it said, "In memory of Bill Gaines." I hadn't seen him since Parris Island. I can't tell you what that meant to me. And I remember writing to him. I was sitting in a deer stand in Kentucky, and with my son, and I wrote Jeff a letter, and he responded back to me, and he said, "Michael, you're not alone." And those are the seeds that planted the idea that wanted to have a park where community to come together, where there's a real story, where the community takes care of their own, and those who serve and come out of the community can watch over and protect them. And so you have two signs. There's going to be another entry to the park. Those signs are half of the Beirut Memorial Wall. there's a soldier on that wall that's a shadow. It's an exact replica of the shadow at a certain time of the day that casts on that wall. And so that's what those are meant to be. And so it's a broken wall, and the soldier stood in the gap for others. And I think that's what my brother represented. That's what the Marines who are here that are veterans represented. And what I hope to accomplish in my vision of working together with everyone here in the park. And this has been a total community effort and a project. And while I had an idea, I'm amazed that I'm not alone. And if people are here supporting the cause and supporting the effort. The tower, when it goes up, is meant to be a place that veterans and family members can look and see out and see people playing and enjoying the community and the freedoms that they protected, that those they love protected. And so that's sort of the goal and the idea behind having the park and this here. And I just want to say, I know he probably doesn't want me to point it out, but I worked for Senator Mack for 6 years, 6 of the best years of my life. I learned a tremendous amount. And I will tell you, he told me something. When I was young and worked for him, I was always wanting to get things done and everything to be perfect. And I worked really hard to do it that way. I'm a very organized person, as my family will tell you. He called me up and tasked me to do something at his house one time, and I said, "Don't worry, Senator, I'll come over there and I'll fix it and there won't be any more problems." And he said to me, just as calmly as could be, "Michael, there will always be problems." And I know he doesn't probably remember that exact moment, but it was a philosophical moment in my life, and that there will always be problems, and it's how you solve those problems and how you attack them when you face them that really matter the most. And I say that story because I think that it applies to the park and what the community has done. It applies to what the Marines did in Beirut. I mean, there's still problems in the Middle East. And one thing that my brother wrote, and he cared deeply about the 6 Marines that had died in his battalion before that. And so that the tower is going to symbolize them. It's going to symbolize the lives that were lost before, and it's going to tell the whole story. And it'll be just another part in the community, like the Vietnam Memorial and the other things that the county's done to support the project and the idea. So this is just an idea. I feel like I'm a small part of it, and I really stand on the shoulders of those who have kind of come before me and helped me. And so you all inspire me, and I appreciate you being here. And thank you very much for all you've done. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Michael. Try and wrap things up here a little bit. We're here today because Michael Gaines and his family want to help us all remember and honor a young man who loved the Lord, a young man that loved these great United States of America, believed in freedom for all of us, and made the ultimate sacrifice. We're seeing the beginning of a dream and a vision that started 3 years ago as a special place to remember Bill Gaines and honor all of our veterans and first responders. We are indeed dedicating this park to William R. Gaines Jr. and honoring all of our veterans and first responders. And you know, it's easy to think back, and at my age, I get a little nervous when I start thinking ahead. The reason I've been aggravating everyone and pushing so hard, I want to see that tower built. I want to see people in this park, and I don't have a lot of time left. So you guys are going to have to get in and help out a lot. But I stop and think, and I scratch some notes down around 4 a.m. I tell everyone that I don't sleep a lot, and I guess I don't. Because Dr. Klein called me at 5, and I said, "David, what are you calling me at 5 o'clock?" He said, "Well, I was checking on the time of the event." And he said, "I knew you're the only one that sleeps less than I do." So, David, I know you're out here. I saw you earlier. But I'm starting to say, this park is going to be a place. Hey, David, doctor. And by the way, David just got, what, $2,500 from some of the doctors over at the hospital the other day. Thank you very much. This isn't a fundraiser. Michael made me promise not to talk about it. So I won't mention money till after the program's up now. I'm here and I stop and I think that this is going to be a place where a 90-year-old, and hopefully I'll be one someday, can sit and enjoy the peace and serenity of this beautiful park. It's going to be a place where on the other side of the new road, an 80-year-old will be able to play bocce. Maybe some of our 70-year-olds will walk the nature trails. I know some of the 60-year-olds will hear the sound of pickleball as it goes in over there. The 50-year-olds will be playing tennis. The 30 and 40-year-olds will be enjoying the exercise station, jogging, and the revisions that we're going to make to the kayak launch. And most of all, and most special, we will all be enjoying the giggles, the laughter, and the shouts of the young children as they enjoy the splash pad. The educational and informational value of the tower as it rises above this park, hopefully starting early this summer, is going to provide an educational experience that they are entitled to for all of our young people. Someday, just a few feet away from us, we'll be enjoying visiting a museum honoring our first responders just a few feet away over here. This park is a very special place. This park is going to have a very, very special meeting for all of us. Jeff talked about it. Every one of us here has our own stories and carries the message in our heart. I thank each and every one of you for coming here today. I thank you for your support, and please stay with us and follow through as we see the things begin to take place at the William R. Gaines Jr. Veterans Memorial Park. Thank you all so much for coming. God bless you all. God bless the United States of America. I'd like to ask the chaplain if would come up and give us with a benediction, and then I have a tiny bit of instruction. Thank you, Pastor.
Offshore on several different ships. In fact, after the barracks was bombed, the United States undertook the obligation of moving the people.
Are you ready? Have I gotten you yet? No. Have I gotten you yet?
Dad, right from
The information? No.
All right, we'll go quickly here. I'll count. Tell me when y'all are ready.
You can't see the photographer, they can't see you.
Okay, I'll do a countdown.
Actually, right up here.
Do a countdown from 3, guys.
Slide down.
Tell me when you're ready. We all set, Brian? Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, cut.
Outstanding!